Coming up on another solo show adventure.
First, we have to build the Disney Dream On, and then we have to convince the Muppets to come on board. After that, it's smooth sailing, I'm sure of it.
Stan welcomes Francine Cochrane from the Pixie Dust Fan podcast and your favorite mission commander from the Grand Circle Tour podcast on the solo show today for Review Part 2. The solo show, as always, is brought to you by Victor Naraki Realtor, serving Disney and the greater Orlando area with celebratingflorida.com and disneyatyourdoorstep.com. Realtor Victor Naraki makes living near Walt Disney World a reality, specializing in all the communities surrounding Disney. Whether you're looking to relocate or invest in a new property, maybe you want a vacation home for your retirement. With over a decade of experience in the area, Victor will adapt to your needs, help you find the right property, or get you the best price for your property. Reach out to him today on his website, celebratingflorida.com, or at disneyatyourdoorstep.com. Follow him at Victor Naraki Realtor on Facebook, and don't forget to tell him that the solo show sent you. And one more time with the stacks of wax that blast from the past, here's Stan Solo!
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Solo Show. I am Stan Solo as always, and this is part 2 of Muppets Mayhem. We're going to be reviewing tracks 6 through 10. You probably listened to part 1 already, and you probably already watched the entire series, I'm hoping. If not, the first part spoiler free. We'll take a fun ad break, and then we'll come back with the spoilerish parts. And joining me again is my good friend and yours, Francine from the Pixie Dust Fan podcast. Francine, how are you today? What were your thoughts, spoiler free, from track 6 through 10?
Spoiler free. It was fabulous. Thank you so much for having me back on the show.
Yeah, for sure. We had to get, and you're not. It's funny because Carrie is like the Muppet fan, and you're like not really the Muppet fan.
Exactly. She's gonna be like so mad that here I am, but she's dragged me into the whole Muppet world, the Muppet universe, and I'm kind of loving it.
Yeah. And Carrie's not with us. What is she, a Mayhead, and she's touring with the band now, going from city to city? Where is she?
Exactly. Exactly. Carrie's on a yeah. Oh yeah. She's touring with the band. She's totally like with Janice.
And also joining us from the Grand Circle Tour podcast, Mission Commander Justin. How are you today, my friend? And what are your thoughts on tracks 6 through 10?
There were tracks 6 through 10. No, I loved the whole show. So I'm just, again, spoiler free. Both the front half and the back half were fantastic. I am so glad that they were able to do something that felt so Muppety. They kind of found a way to get that formula of the cameos, the chaos, trying to put on a show, trying to create this final product, and all the madness that goes on behind the scenes. Even though it's not, in the Muppet Theater with the usual Muppets, we have the Electric Mayhem instead, and it works. It works very well. The human characters and their relationships and such, I thought also worked really well. So I enjoyed it all the way through.
Yeah. Something I noticed, and I don't think this is a spoiler, you mentioned the human characters that are with them, and there's a lot of celebrity guests that pop in. And I find that the celebrity guests are like the A-listers, played themselves, or the characters that they're most known for. And then the celebrity guests that are like stand-up comedians that are still going from city to city and they're doing guest spots on shows and all that, played characters. Do you guys notice that, it seemed?
I think they just saved the A-listers for the cameos. I mean, because that's kind of the whole thing. And everyone else is just, working actors, as it were.
Yeah. There was a lot of working actors, and when I looked them up, they were on one episode of Big Bang Theory, and they were on 2 episodes of 30 Rock.
You're gonna have to tell me, because honestly, I spent the first part of watching Googling who's this, because I knew their faces, but then I was missing the show, so I had to stop doing that. Second time through, I'm gonna have to go through and Google everybody.
Okay. Yeah. Pro tip: there's this thing called a pause button.
I know. So true,
yeah,
but I didn't want
you
to.
can-
I didn't want the flow to be interrupted.
That's fair.
Yeah. While staying spoiler free, the music, I think that they hit it out of the park pretty much with every song they did throughout the entire series.
I have to agree with you there. Every song that they created, because they're, obviously they're creating songs for their album. They were all great.
Yeah.
And catchy. And I can't tell you which one is stuck in my head right now because it's spoiler, but I'll tell you later, but they're very catchy.
Yeah.
And for all you mayheads out there, go to Disney Music Emporium. You can actually pre-order the album on vinyl.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, it's available right now. The album's, spoiler alert, they made an album. That was what the whole point of the show was. So they made an album, and the album's going to be actually available on the Disney Music Emporium. Ken will put a link in the show notes. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to do a fun ad, and then we'll come back and go into spoiler territory right after this.
First, there was Star Wars Day at Sea. Then there was Marvel and Pixar Day at Sea.
You're my favorite deputy.
Now, Disney Cruise Line and Jim Henson Productions are proud to introduce Muppet Day at Sea. Your luggage will be brought to your room by our experienced staff.
Name Jack Jaw.
How many times have I told you not to talk to the customers?
Yeah, no.
Just move this, move it.
Your
Understand?
meals will be prepared by our world-famous Swedish chef.
Sir! Waiter, there's a fly in my soup. Could you do something about it?
Photos with your favorite Muppets.
Waka waka.
And end the night off with a concert you will never forget.
Animal.
Join us this September for Muppet Day at Sea, sailing only on the Disney Dream On.
On the Disney Dream On.
Love it.
This September. Francine, are you going?
Oh, I love it. I would so be buying tickets right now.
I think we need to do a group Grand Circle Tour solo show, Pixie Dust fan podcast group tour on the Muppet Day at Sea inaugural sailing.
Absolutely.
First, we
Wouldn't
have
that
to
be
build
amazing?
the Disney Dream On, and then
Yeah,
we
they
have
gotta
to
build the
convince
Disney
the
Dream On.
Muppets to come on board. And after that, it's smooth sailing. I'm sure of it.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh,
yeah.
that would be amazing.
Oh man. Okay, so track 6 through 10. Justin, you mentioned last week, and I didn't really. I mean, I caught it, but I didn't really write it down. The names of the tracks were names of songs.
Yes.
So track 6 was called "Break On Through." Track 7 was 8 Days a Week.
No, track 5
track
was Break
8
On Through. Track 6 was Fortunate Son.
What?
You
What
wrote
was
it
I
down
looking at?
wrong. Track
I wrote
6
it
is
down wrong. Where's
Fortunate
track
Son.
Where's track 8?
Track 8 is Virtual Insanity.
Okay, which song is that?
Hmm.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Okay, okay. Track 9.
The others I do I catch, but
Okay, and then track 9 is "Drift Away," which I wasn't familiar with that one either, but I'm sure there's songs. And then track 9 is "We Will Rock You," which is
Virtual Insanity was released in 1996 on the album "Traveling Without Moving" by Jamiroquai. I have no idea.
There we go. Hey, no, that was what my point was going to be, was that they really covered a wide range of audience members. This is great for the adults who get the inside jokes, and it's also great for the kids that kind of know Virtual Insanity and Drift Away. I think they did a really, really good job in this entire series with those
Drift
inside
Away
jokes.
is way old, Stan. That's like 1950s.
Is it really?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So all sorts of different genres.
It's older than you.
So now, yeah. So there you go. So now my parents, or well, if they were alive, would be able to enjoy it as well because there was jokes for them even.
Yeah.
So
They really covered all the age groups. There was
Yeah.
something for everyone in every episode.
yeah. Except for my wife.
Oh.
Are you going to go watch that cartoon again? Okay, I'll go do something else.
I've been trying to convince everyone to watch it.
I know. Well, I'll talk to my wife. But yeah, I think that they did a really, really good job this entire series, more so than I think past attempts at the Muppets to kind of make it all inclusive.
Absolutely. And I think they did a great job
It's
just
not in
in
your
getting
hands.
all of the. I mean, just even in the cameos and such. There's like people from modern day all the way back to. I mean, Cheech and Chong is from way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
It's amazing the people that they had in this.
Yeah. So track 6 starts off with previously on Muppets Mayhem, which was the first time we got that. It took till 6 for them to do it previously on, which kind of worked. I'm like, hey, this worked out perfectly for our show because we stopped at track 5 and went on to track 6.
Well,
We planned it with them or something.
and I love that. I love that the first time the first previously on is said by Lips. Previously on.
Oh, was it?
I didn't notice that.
I thought it was Zoot that said it.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Lips.
It was Lips? Oh, okay. Well, he's the perfect spokesperson for doing TED Talks or whatever. Like, seriously. And the title song, Rock On, I gotta admit, first time I heard it, I watched a YouTube video before it came out, before the show came out, and I kind of went, oh, I don't know about this song. But after hearing it every beginning of every episode, I really got to enjoy it. Do you feel the same way, Fran? You're kind of nodding.
Yeah. I felt like there was a couple times where I just didn't skip it. Like, when you're skipping I really enjoy it.
Pause, look up.
I know. But I skipped the beginnings. I know. But yeah, I really did enjoy the music.
Yeah. Thinking like a hurricane.
Yeah, I listen
anyways.
to it every time, both at the beginning and the music at the end. So
yeah, same here. So we ended the last podcast with me asking Justin, who do you think Dr. Teeth's parents are? And Justin said, well, I think Dr. Teeth's parents are going to be his parents. I don't think that, and I was thinking, was it going to be like a celebrity of some sort? And it was just that. It was his parents.
Although making them dentists was kind of an inspired choice.
Yeah. So we had Tina Teeth and Gerald Teeth, whereas Dr. Teeth's parents, which, yeah, again, an inspired choice for sure. I looked up who the puppeteers were. For Gerald Teeth was David Bizarro. As far as I could tell, he has done a little bit of stuff with the Muppets, like hardly anything. So maybe he's like trying to introduce him, perhaps. Maybe we'll see more of him. And then Stephanie DiBrazio played Tina Teeth. She was amazing in this. That was great. I'm not sure if you guys looked up who these people were, but Stephanie actually replaced Fran Brill as Prairie Dawn in 2015 on Sesame Street.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
I do.
So
I do remember reading about that replacement happening, but I didn't remember the names.
Yeah. So she's been doing Prairie Dawn, and I found it interesting that quite a few of them seem to be a lot of Sesame Street puppeteers that they brought to the Muppets, which was kind of interesting. Like even David Bizarro has done more Sesame Street stuff. So Dr. Teeth is a real doctor.
Isn't that so fun?
A doctor of dentistry, Dr. Teeth.
Yeah. And we got a little bit of Dr. Teeth and Floyd's backstory, which I found absolutely fascinating.
And once again, I want to talk to the Book of Boba Fett about how you do flashbacks, because this show did flashbacks so much better.
Yeah,
I'm never going to let that go.
I know every time they bring up flashbacks, just as to refer to Book of Boba Fett having more ones. Yeah, the flashbacks actually were relevant to the story.
Yeah. And how did they make the Muppets look young? Like
Shorter
the Muppets,
hair.
Yeah, they looked like young versions of themselves. It was I thought it was great.
Yeah,
Give them glasses
great
and make
bit
their
of
hair shorter.
puppetry and design.
Yeah.
A little bit slender. I really liked how Floyd Pepper used to be a sergeant, so he was Sergeant Pepper.
Love that.
For all you Beatles fans out there, and if you're not a Beatles fan, kids, look it up. You'll see a album cover of Sergeant Pepper. And then you got the backstory on his gold tooth.
I loved that. How that all came to be. It was so fantastic. What a great story.
I didn't quite get it, though. He's taking some insurance, and he takes the award that his parents gave him. That's his insurance. I didn't. Okay, fine.
I love that it was like the dental floss, because we're at the spoiler part, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Like the dental floss case Like it just makes so much sense in the story.
Yeah, like I say, so much of this episode was some inspired choices to come up with. Okay, his parents are dentists. He's a doctor of dentistry. You know, his gold tooth.
Floyd was a sergeant. Floyd was a sergeant.
Yeah, it's like some brilliant writing all throughout this, which really, I mean, it elevates the whole show.
Yeah.
We got to find out why Floyd plays the bass.
Yes.
He had a hard time with a 6-string, and Gerald Jr., who is Dr. Teeth's real name, said, "Why don't you try doing a 4-string instead of a 6-string?" And goes, "Yeah, that's fingers to worry about." So I guess those, now we know, and we also got to find a little bit of history of the band, because now these two were the founding members of the band, Floyd and Dr. Teeth. And then Animal was like the third one to come in, because as a kid he was beating the beat cans, the cans of beat.
Now we're a trio.
And I talked about it last week with the psychedelic opening, and they kind of had clues in there, and beat cans were one of the clues in the psychedelic opening.
Mm-hmm.
There was cans of beats in there. There was the symbol with the bite taken out of it, the cans of beats. The gold tooth would be, the Polaroid camera was in there.
Mm-hmm.
And of course the bunny, which I thought looked like Bean Bunny.
Turns out
find
it's
out
just
later
a
on.
bunny.
Yeah, it was just a bunny, not a bean bunny. But there was a clue that there was a bunny coming, so I knew there was going to be a Muppet bunny, or at least I predicted or figured it out from their clues that there was a bunny coming out.
The bunny was awesome.
I do like that he stole his parents' van, basically the bus, the Molar Express, and that became the Electric Mayhem bus.
Yeah, ripped the tooth off the top, and away we go.
Yeah.
They could have just
The
painted that
root canal.
gold. The Basaru Canal. There you go. And then I'm not sure if you guys caught it, but at the end of that episode, Nora was eating cereal, and they were kind of chatting at the end. And did you happen to catch what type of cereal she was eating?
Oh, I didn't catch this. What cereal? No.
Yeah, so there was a box of cereal on the breakfast table, and it was Crunchy Stars, and it had a picture of the Swedish Chef on the cover on the box.
No. Oh,
there's-
I didn't notice.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
so
love
there's
that
a
they
little-
put in some of those little details in the background that they don't draw attention to, but they're there for you to catch.
Yes.
Yeah.
The little
Yeah,
Easter
so
eggs, as it were.
Yeah, so look for the Crunchy. It was CROO, and the first O had 2 dots above it. NCHY. Crunchy.
Ooh, I'll have to watch again and see that.
Yeah, so that was kind of right at the end of track 6. Kind of different. Really didn't end in a cliffhanger like it seemed like they
No.
were doing in the first half. Like every episode more or less ended in a cliffhanger. And throughout this entire second half, I don't think there was one cliffhanger. Like I was waiting for a cliffhanger to happen, and not one of them was, oh my gosh, look at who this is. And then they would cut. Like they never did that once. They never, like each episode, the cliffhangers got weaker and weaker until there wasn't any.
You're right.
Well,
I can't think of
I
one.
think track 8 had a little bit of that, in that it was she's looking at her phone going, holy moly, and we don't find out till next week that it was what was there, what was on her phone. But that was about the closest to a cliffhanger in 6 through 10, I think.
Yeah, it was they were softballs of cliffhangers, if anything. Then track 7 track 7 was 8 days a week, was it not?
Yep. Yes,
Okay,
it was.
so I got that one right. which was of course a spoof on the Beatles document.
On the Beatles documentary. Yeah. Get back!
Get back! Did you guys watch that documentary on Disney Plus?
I did not.
didn't.
I remember it being there, and I didn't watch it.
Yeah. So I think I watched every episode, except for whatever reason I never did finish it. That's the story of my life. It takes so many shows I started, I don't finish. I think I got the last one or half of the last one to watch. But in it, it's a documentary, and it's directed by Peter Jackson, who of course makes a guest appearance in this episode. And it's so much stuff that's pulled right out of that documentary that they did of the Beatles, like the calendar with the X's in it is directly from that documentary. And the whole thing with the Beatles documentary was that they had to create this album, and they had to have it, and they had a concert coming up, and they wanted this album written before they went on tour for this concert, and they didn't have the venue for the concert yet, and it was in the end, so they're kind of, and they start fighting, and Yoko Ono's the entire time they were rehearsing. It's basically hours and hours and hours of them rehearsing at Apple Studios or Apple Records, and Yoko Ono's knitting the entire time.
Oh, you're kidding!
Every once in a while, she'd start wailing about something, and she'd be like, "Don't worry about me, just ignore me." And then she'd be coughing while they're singing, and it was just like she kept quiet, but she was always there, and you could tell that the rest of the group wasn't happy that she was there. So they started bringing their wives to the rehearsals. Like Paul started bringing his girlfriend, and George started bringing girls over and stuff. And you could feel each episode on the Beatles documentary, the tension building, and then you can almost see it happening in front of you that they're breaking up. And basically, what they recreated that in track 7 of Muppets Mayhem.
Now you mentioned the calendar, and one of the things I noticed is like when they first show that calendar, on the first day, they're circling it or crossing it out or whatever to start. If you look at the day before, written on it is yesterday.
Yes.
There was
Francine's nodding. She's like, I saw that too.
I'm like, I saw it.
There was so many Beatle references like that. Like Floyd's guitar had Mr. Bassman.
Yes.
Decal, sorry.
Which I thought was just a reference to the old song.
Francine, do you have that issue being Canadian? Decal?
I do.
What do you think?
Decal.
What do you call it?
Decal.
Yeah, a decal.
Is that the Canadian saying for it, or is that the U.S.?
Yeah, and apparently the Americans don't understand.
Decal is what you keep saying. We say it decal.
Oh, I say decal.
You say decal?
Yeah.
Oh, I say decal.
Okay, maybe it's Western Canada then. Okay.
Maybe.
I say decal. Everyone I work with says decal.
Uh-oh.
Might be Western Canada. Okay.
So revoke my Canadian citizenship.
He has a sticker on his guitar that says Mr. Bassman.
which as I was saying, I immediately thought it was a reference to the old song from the Muppet Show, Hey Mr. Bassman, sung by Scooter.
Oh yeah, it was. But I think, didn't the Beatles have a song, Mr. Bassman? Or did
They could have.
sing that from the Beatles?
But it's a Muppet reference too.
Yeah. I think I think that's where the Muppets got it from. I don't know.
Oh, did you happen to notice Kermit on the calendar too?
Mm-hmm.
I did.
Yeah.
I was so excited when I spotted it.
and whether it was taxes.
Yes, the taxes. And was it Zoot's haircut was on the calendar too?
Yeah. So yeah,
okay,
so
this
calendar
is kind of funny. So as I'm looking at Mr. Bassman, the original version, which is basically what is sung on the Muppet Show, is a real song from 1963 by Johnny Cymbal. So maybe the Beatles did something too, but they did it later.
Okay. That could be. Maybe I'm getting my bands mixed up. So you got the calendar. Oh, I lost my train of thought.
That was a great episode. The entire episode.
Yeah.
With all of the Beatles references in there.
Yeah. You have to go back and watch the Get Back documentary though, because that was it. They had the circle on the final day just to create tension. That this is and that's kind of what it felt like on the Beatles documentary, because they had the day that they had to complete this album by. Well, that day comes and goes, and it didn't matter. Well, now we got a new day that we're aiming for.
Oh yes.
So, and then of course they have the concert on the roof, which is with how that documentary ends with the Beatles as well, with them doing the concert on the roof.
Oh, I gotta watch this now.
Yeah. So Animal has his bunny, and then they turn into many bunnies. And
then Zoot keeps asking. It's like trying to figure out who can play Zoot in this documentary.
Oh my gosh!
Right. Yeah. So we get Kevin Smith as one of the celebrities playing himself.
Yep, he's there as the director.
Yeah.
And then Susan Hoff, of course, makes an appearance from the Bangles.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious.
With Flip's trying to round up a celebrity for them. She's like, no, I wanted someone from the Beatles, not from the Bangles. So it's like Flips can't understand her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then he comes back with Paula Abdul.
She wanted Paul, not a Paula.
and it was so like Lip's the one that taught me how to walk like an Egyptian. Lips is the one that introduced me to Scat Cat.
Oh, that was the funniest thing when he was doing the walk like an Egyptian. That was hysterical.
And then you were talking about Zoot having the who's going to play
casting.
him.
Yes.
The casting with Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley could do me.
Oh my gosh. When they had to keep telling him that these people were dead. Oh my goodness.
When?
When?
So Morgan Freeman shows up. Playing himself as Zoot. It's like looking into a mirror. Morgan Freeman's like, this would be the role of a lifetime. The guy that played God.
Oh my gosh. He's like, I'm gonna study every move.
Now those other Zoots that came in.
Yeah, who were they people we should know?
One of them was one of them was the his name was Jackson Beretta. Jackson Beretta.
Okay.
Now you might not know who Jackson Beretta is, but you know that who Steve Beretta is. That was his son, one of the puppeteers, one of the Muppeteers.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so I think it was the one that came in that actually talked. I think it was the one that was Jackson.
I felt like I should know somebody that when they came in, it felt like these could be important people.
Yeah. Kind of like the police officer in the first episode when they stopped traffic. Yeah, so I looked him up and that was Cedric Yarborough. And again, so that's what I'm saying, like these B-list celebrities kind of played people, whereas the big celebrities played themselves, like Peter Jackson and Kevin Smith, and Susan Hoff, and Paula Abdul, and Morgan Freeman, and Sir Peter Jackson, whereas they played themselves, which was kind of like some, I don't know, just an observation, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't notice that, but now that you mention it, it's so true.
Yeah. Kristen Shalal, is that how you pronounce her name? She was one of the celebrities that's kind of like I know her because she's from Bob's Burgers and she's also from Last Man on Earth. And so she was playing like Floyd's assistant at the end of that big long table.
Oh, okay.
Her.
Yeah, I recognize her from different things. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's been in a lot of things. So that's what I mean. Like it's like, yeah, I know her, but I don't know her. So that's when I was saying.
She's in the Weird Al video for Tacky, important things.
Yeah. So that was a good chunk of track 7. I don't really want to go track by track. I prefer for us to kind of bounce around. But then they get into social media, and we kind of get kind of a whole social media thing. We talked about this in part 1 of the solo show with the Muppets Mayhem, where we got the main story with they're making an album. Then we got these sub stories. Mm-hmm. So we had like the Beatles documentary sub story. We had the Dr. Teeth flashback sub story. And then the other one was kind of like, and this kind of dragged through the several episodes, or a couple like 8 and 9 with the social media.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 8, 9, and 10, I think.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of starts in 7, but it's like basically it's the band breaking up is what it's amounting to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it. It's like these sub stories of the band breaking up, and social media is to blame. Would that be a good way to describe it?
I think so.
Yeah, they each get into social media in their different ways, and basically end up parting ways. Which also ties in with the sub story of Moog is crushing on Nora, and Nora is kind of getting together with JJ,
and totally missing the point with Moog.
Yeah. No, did you guys? I kind of, while watching this, I'm thinking to myself, well, JJ's going to end up being a villain in this.
I was waiting for him to turn into like a super villain of some kind.
Yeah. Well, how about you, Justin? Were you feeling that way?
Well, from the moment he was introduced, he was kind of introduced as if he was going to be the villain of the whole show.
Yeah.
So all the way through, all the way through, I'm right there with Animal going, JJ, bad.
Yeah, Animal knows.
Yeah. Until
so
the bunny.
I trust Animal's instincts.
Yeah, and JJ really liked Moog. Like, he liked Nora. So I liked how with the social media they all kind of branched off into their own thing. Like Animal was big on TikTok.
Yeah.
And Janice was with her Instagram videos.
Oh my gosh, Janice's life on social, the Frusurians, it was priceless what they did with her.
Yeah, Zoot becomes a famous photographer,
Yeah, and
posting on Instagram. Have you heard of this Instagram?
Oh, when
Dr.
they
Tooth is YouTube
Yeah.
eating hot chili peppers with Penny.
Oh my
I
gosh! And
can't
then when
see. I'm going down.
the pictures are in the cloud, I don't do well on planes.
Well,
Oh
not
my
like when it
gosh.
first starts, he's like, "Huh, cloud's broken."
And the Dr. Teeth reading out his web address to
Oh.
the God on the radio. They were on the on the God's radio. Who incidentally was another celebrity playing himself. He's a huge radio DJ in the U.S. And it's WW or the HTTPS
Okay.
dot.
Okay,
or
then you
des-
got like two dots on top of each other. Okay, then a couple of lazy lines. Then W. No, and I should specify you don't type U twice. It's actually a W.
Yeah, I'm not
And then a
saying-
period, or as the kids say, dot.
They did great with that stuff, like
Oh.
introducing them to the internet.
And the thing is like if you remember back in the early days of the internet, that's about how people read out those
Exactly.
addresses early on.
Exactly. We didn't know how to do it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh.
So I was just cracking up that whole time. But you mentioned it about Zoot with the cloud when
Oh, yeah.
he takes the picture when there's this one scene like I'm trying to remember but I was laughing so hard where he looks up and he puts
Yeah.
his hands up in the air. He's
like
looking
it's gonna fall from the cloud, the picture. You're like, where is it
around,
coming?
waiting for it to come down.
Well, I think when he first took a picture, even he's like he's holding his hand under the phone,
Waiting for it to come out.
and then he goes, "Cloud's broken."
Oh my gosh! The other sub story too. It seemed like there was all these overlapping sub stories. Wanting Nora trying to book them for the Hollywood Bowl.
Yes.
Because she
Was
said
another.
that goes all the way back to track 2, I think, when she was like exaggerating what she could do for them.
Mhm.
That was when she first said, and I booked you at the Hollywood Bowl. And so now
Yeah.
all the way through this, she's still trying to make that happen.
Yeah, exactly. And then there was the Minecraft kind of, which was, and in itself is kind of a celebrity because any of the kids that are into Minecraft would be like super stoked to see this. I mean, I didn't quite understand everything that's going on because I'm not big on the Minecraft, which again has all those different layers of the different things for the different cultures or different age groups. But the bombs coming in, and
Yeah.
with TNT written on them, and yeah, I thought that was very, very well done.
What did you think of like the tweet mistake? So when he tweeted and it auto corrected, and then all of the Beliebers and the Taylor Swift fans, and oh my goodness, that made me laugh.
So
Well,
so those
the
are
autocorrect
all,
part itself. Made me laugh. Just
you know how many times I get autocorrected for stuff that I type out? It's like
me
every single time I type anything to anybody. It's
Yeah.
one of my words got autocorrected.
And it's usually the most inopportune word that it could possibly pick. There's 4 different things that it could have picked, and it always picks the worst one.
And you don't catch it till right after you hit send.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. It was very well done. So you're talking about the Beliebers and the
Beehive
Yeah.
and
see,
oh,
Lady
Little
Gaga's
Monsters.
Little
Swifties.
Monsters.
the little monsters. Yeah.
So all of the actors and actresses that played the lead person from those groups were all kind of stand-up comedians that have been on different
Oh.
specials and different they're all been like I don't know like one was on 30 Rock for a little bit, and one, you know what I mean, one was on, she was an actress on
Again,
like,
kind of working actors, sure.
yeah. So they were all kind of like the B-listers, but they are comedians in their own right, type of thing. Have been around for a while. So what were our? Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, so they get to wing it, and that is a great song that they come up with there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, then of course, Zoot was out doing jingles, or Floyd. Sorry.
Floyd. Yeah.
Floyd making soup songs and
Oh my gosh. Well, that was what I was going to say earlier in the show before the spoilers. The song that is stuck in my head is Soup. Soup-dee-doo. Like
Soup-de-doo,
that's
soup-de-doo.
stuck in my head. I can't can't stop singing it in my head. It's such a good one.
At the end. every turtle ends in
Oh, I loved it.
So throughout this series, so we got animals, kind of flashback or story, origin story. We got Floyd's. We got Dr. Teeth's origin story. We find out Janice has a twin. She kind of stole Floyd from another woman. We kind of got that information from her. So we were learning a lot of history of the band. Very little we know about Lips, and very little we know about Zoot. After these 10 episodes, do we? Well,
Lips obviously has a long and storied career and knows everyone. He's done way too much. He could be his own show, clearly. Zoot, he just can't remember it.
Well, no, he can remember it. He's very good actually at getting people and whatnot. Zoot has a hard time with the.
No, that's what I'm saying. Zoot is.
Sorry.
Zoot, on the other hand, can't remember anything. So he
can't remember anything.
We never got any flashbacks from him.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully he has a lot of pictures to remember stuff.
Yes.
The roof of the bus, so that helps him. Oh, there's that cheese sandwich I ate.
That brings back the memories.
That brings back my memories. Yeah. I don't know. I just thought it was just so well done. The speaking of his memories, so that's how they find the. Well, before we get to that, so they're going. Album's done. Am I missing anything before we get to the going on the road?
I don't think so.
Well, because they kind of split up, and then
Animal brings them all back together.
Yeah, because Nora and Moog basically kind of get together because JJ gets as close as he gets to being a villain when he's like, "What? You have you have the studio. You're the CEO. You're the boss. You have everything you want. I don't care about the mayhem." And she's like, "What?"
Yeah.
So but that's as close as he ever got to being the villain. Is just going, "I don't care that the band broke up."
Yeah, it wasn't very villainy.
No.
But it was enough for Nora to go, this isn't the way. I don't want it this way.
Yes.
Yeah. This
and she and Moog, so she recruits Moog to come back and help, and they go and try to get everyone back together and can't get hold of anyone until Nora runs off and Animal goes and just goes up to all of them and go, "Nora, gone!" Which rallies the whole band together.
Yeah. Which I find interesting that Animal's one that brought them all together, considering in the first half of the show, he was the one that left.
He's the one that left first, and then at the end, he's the one who brings them all together. That's a good catch.
Yeah, I found that whole storyline very, very interesting and cool.
Yeah, when they all left, he was the only one who stayed behind then.
Yeah,
because he was the one
that's true
who stayed behind with Hannah and Nora.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, I just thought that was a really cool storyline as well. So everything's all done. Everyone's happy. Everyone's back together. There's only one thing left to do, and that's to go back on tour. And
well, now they have an album to promote. They have a reason to go on tour.
And they got a van. So what happened? I didn't quite catch. So the van breaks down as they're pulling out of the driveway? Is that how, what? I missed something there.
I think the van was breaking down as they were trying to leave again, yes. Because the van's always breaking down.
Right. So usually when that happens, they just stop and do a jam. I found that out. But it just seems a weird ending that the van broke down. I don't know.
It seemed in keeping with their style, though, that they're always having trouble with that van.
Yeah. And then now Moog is part of the band. He's not really
he's not a super fan anymore. Mayhead.
Not a Mayhead so much as he's now with the band, which was a great ending.
I do want to add, I love the bit when Nora goes, "Oh my God, I can understand lips."
You're one of us.
It's like, because true. You're part of the family now.
Playing the Hollywood Bowl, that was the part I missed. So they played the Hollywood Bowl, and who do we get to see in the audience? None other than Sadler and Wardoff sitting in the VIP booth, which isn't their seats. They're not supposed to be there.
But they had to make an appearance.
And I was waiting. I watched at the end, hoping that they let Ozzy or Frank Oz play Wardoff, but no, it was the one that played.
The question is, does Frank Oz even want to do those characters anymore?
Yeah. He seems kind of not happy with the way things are turning out from interviews that I've seen with Frank Oz. But
and that too. I think I kind of get the impression that that's kind of his past life, as it were. It's like he's past that. That's he's not necessarily interested in returning to that. He's got other things that he'd rather be doing.
Yeah. His wife's writing a book and stuff like that he's promoting. Okay. But yeah, so the Statler and Wardoff appearance, I think, was golden. They did mention Kermit at the end when Zoot takes the picture and he goes, "This one's for Kermit." At the end, I thought it was great. I thought the whole series was actually absolutely great. Favorite scene, Justin, in these 6? Weird Al. And how about in the final 6?
In the final 6?
Or the final 5?
Final 5, yeah. Oh, it's hard to pick. I probably
I probably
have to go with just Animal going around to everyone going, "Nora gone."
Yeah. Or favorite episode even. Favorite episode would be, I guess, what I should be asking.
Favorite episode overall, I still go back to the one with Weird Al where they're all hallucinating from the expired mushrooms.
Yeah, expired marshmallows.
Expired marshmallows.
How about you, Francine?
My favorite episode has to be 8 Days a Week. I just love them doing the documentary. And my favorite scene, just cracked me right up, was when he was explaining to them, "Here's the camera, don't look." And then he's like, and then he goes, "Okay, 3, 2, 1, action." And they all freeze and stare at the camera.
Even Moog does.
Oh my gosh, those they became real people to me in that moment, and I was howling. It doesn't matter how many times I watch that scene, I just love it. I just love it. It's so fantastic.
Yeah. And favorite episode?
It's that one. 8 Days a Week.
Oh yeah, 8 Days a Week.
Yeah. For sure. Like everything about it with the stars and there's a lot of them looking at the camera in that episode where they give looks to the camera that it's just it's priceless.
Even Morgan Freeman does that when he takes off the mask. He looks. I'm Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
He looks right into the camera. Yeah.
I love that. It was so fantastic.
Well, what's even funnier is from a puppetry point of view, I think they generally avoid having the puppets look straight at the camera normally.
Yes.
But when they do, it's always golden.
Yeah.
I think like my favorite scene was still going back when they were on the bus and they were singing all the different royalty-free songs.
Oh,
and
yes.
He goes, "Which should we sing next?" And when Dr. Teeth looks into the camera, he looks directly at the camera and his glasses raise up just a little bit. Like,
and it's such a perfect reaction.
Yeah. We could sing songs on our van totally for free. In our own van. What do we want to see next from the Muppets?
I would love to see them. Well, so for Mayhem, I would love to see them go on tour. Actually go on tour and make more episodes where they're in cities and they explore more of the backstories and they explore more of maybe they see Janice's sister or there's so many cameos that could be had from them going on tour.
A world tour.
A world tour. They could go anywhere.
Going to London, Paris, Japan. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine?
And maybe the other Muppets could come to shows or, if they happen to be in their city. I think it would be fun.
That would be fun. How about you, Justin?
I if you'd asked me before I watched the show if I wanted this show, I wouldn't have. I'm not sure why I would have said I wanted it. So it's so hard to say. I mean, I want something that kind of hits that same formula again. I mean, I love the idea of the world tour for the Mayhem, but I'm trying to think what other characters you could do something like that with that you're doing. I mean, what are we gonna do? Like Bunsen, Honeydew, and Beaker doing a science show? I mean,
that would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be good. I was thinking what I'd like to see is kind of Scooter's backstory.
Oh,
like a prequel to the Muppet Show where Scooter's kind of growing up with his uncle and he's trying different jobs and none of them seem to work or whatever. He's just kind of like stumbling almost. And his uncle finally says, "You know what? Here, you could get a job at the theater that I own. They're your type of people." And it kind of ends with him walking into the Muppet Theater almost.
Oh, that would be cool.
That's what I was kind of thinking. Something along those lines.
That sounds more like a movie than a series, but
well, this could have been a movie too. Like this could have been laid out as a movie, but yeah.
Well, I think I don't want to lose the the people characters in this one. Like I actually, Nora and Moog and Nora's sister, I think they're so good and they work so well with the Muppets that I want to make sure that they stay in whatever comes next.
Yeah. I think if they did the world tour, we'll see, and as much as Carrie wouldn't like it, Animal running around going, "Woman, woman," in every city. I think Carrie would appreciate it.
Oh, it would be so great.
Oh yeah. Oh, I want to thank you two for joining.
Thank you
on the Solo Show. The Pixie Dust Fan podcast. You can check them out wherever you listen to podcasts. And it's you and Carrie, who's not here, but she was here last week. You guys have guests on from time to time too.
We do. You've been a guest on our show a couple times, and sometimes it's just us. Sometimes we have guests on. Yeah,
and it's a fun show. Check them out. And of course, Justin and myself are on the Grand Circle Tour podcast. I guess we could say occasionally.
Occasionally.
Well, we're not on every week. The podcast is on every week, but there's 7 of us, and we rotate off and on who's on. So sometimes Justin's there, sometimes I'm there, sometimes both of us is there, and sometimes neither of us is there.
Scheduling must be
lately
fun.
I've been kind of away from it a lot more than usual, just because I was so busy. But there have been times in the past when I was there every week for a while.
Yeah, and we pretty much do a live show every Thursday night. For people that don't know that listen to the Solo Show, Justin and I, and usually Chris or Holly are on. We do a live show every Thursday night on YouTube and Facebook. Just search Grand Circle Tour podcast on YouTube or Facebook on Thursday night. You'll find us.
It's a great show.
Any final thoughts?
More Muppets. Don't tell Carrie I said that. Don't tell her I love them.
Francine is now a born-again Muppet fan.
You know what? I love them so much more as an adult, and what they've done for Haunted Mansion and this. I love them.
Yeah. Next time we see Carrie, there's gonna be all Muppet stuff behind her.
Yeah.
How about you, Justin? Any final thoughts?
Hey, Lego, if you're listening, you could do Lego sets based on the Electric Mayhem now.
Yeah, no kidding. That'd be awesome. I was going to do Take It Away, Ken, myself, but I'm going to pass it off to my new favorite. By the way, I want this guy. I'm going to make myself hair like this guy. Lips, you can have the honors today. Tell Ken to take it away.
For a moment I made a Nobu. I knew that something that you were going to dance all of my day more than better. But now I know that you've reported all that I do.
If you have a brilliant idea for a future edition of The Solo Show and would like to take your turn in the guest host's chair, then drop us an email at thesoloshow01@gmail.com. Tell us your idea for the show, and we'll contact you about a date and a time for you to join us. If you would just like to keep the conversation going or have a comment about a previous show, then visit us on Facebook at The Solo Show. All logos, sounds, and songs that are made by and for Disney and its affiliates are owned solely by the Disney Corporation and are not, nor are they intended to be, the ownership of The Solo Show podcast. We hope you'll join us for the next adventure on The Solo Show. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.
This one's for Kermit. He's gonna dig that.